Hi guys, so I put a video on my TikTok a couple of days ago asking about any questions that you wanted to know because I'm 6 months post rhinoplasty procedure. So this is my nose 6 months on. So I had it done in May this year. And there's loads of questions to get through, so I'm just going to get into it because I've already tried to video this once and I ran out of time. So where did you go and how was your experience? So I went to Istanbul, Turkey. My experience from start to finish was amazing. There was a certain thing that I wanted. My nose was a little bit longer and the bridge was higher as well. So yeah, and at the end it was, to be fair, I had filler in my nose. So I've had filler in my nose for about 4 years. So I had the filler dissolved 2 weeks prior to the surgery and my nose looked completely different. I did not recognise myself. So in that time, I was just so excited to get the surgery because my nose had just, I think the filler had migrated, and that's something else to think about. If you are wanting a rhinoplasty, I would be careful having filler in the nose. I do aesthetics, and the surgeon said to me, even after I'd dissolved all the filler, that there was still loads of filler in there. And because the skin on your nose is completely different to everything else, it can stretch the skin and your skin will never go back. So even if you dissolve the filler, the skin can still be quite stretched. So that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, my experience overall from start to finish was brilliant. I'd had quite a lot of consultations in the UK, and they just weren't. One, I didn't get the best feeling, and two, they weren't going to give me what I wanted. I wanted the Barbie nose, but a natural one. So I did want it quite, the bridge quite low, and I did want a little lift as well, which is what I got. So yeah, but I still think it looks very natural. I actually booked the surgery last year, so I paid a £500 deposit last year, and I chickened out because I was so nervous. I really, really was, and obviously it's your face, and it's something that you really have to mentally be prepared for. And so I cancelled it. Then I rebooked and I moved the date because I had something happen, so I had to move the date. So I had to pay the deposit again, which I totally understand. I'm a business owner myself, so I do understand that. My surgeon is called Dr. Mehmet Kiril. He is amazing. I spoke to so many surgeons in Turkey, and the reason that I actually wanted to go to a Turkish surgeon is because he is an ENT surgeon. It's all he does. He only does noses, and his work it just speaks for itself. It's absolutely outstanding. I messaged loads and loads of girls that had been to him previously. They said their experience was amazing as well. So I had all the faith in him, and I liked his work because it's the Barbie nose. It's a smaller nose. It's what I wanted, but it's still very natural. It's not piggy, which everyone's preference is different. It really complements your face. I wanted mine, and can you share your surgeon experience? So yeah, already said the surgeon. The experience was amazing from start to finish. I can't fault it. They do offer a package where you can get hotel and transfers. Can't remember how much that was. I didn't opt for that. I paid for my own flights, so myself and my mother I took as well, and then I also paid for my own hotel because I'm quite fussy with hotels. I wanted to just choose my own, and then obviously transfers again I paid for myself. So all in all, for me, it did cost me more than picking their package, but I was fine with that. I know you can get your nose done in Turkey for a lot cheaper, and you can get it done for probably more expensive as well. I don't think he's badly priced, but you have to make sure that you go to the surgeon you want to go to. Do not go to someone because they're cheap. I've seen surgeons that are charging like 2 or 3,000, which for me personally, too good to be true. And I just think definitely pay. You get what you pay for. What was the aftercare you followed? So prior to the surgery, I was taking bromelain tablets for swelling and bruising. I was also taking arnica tablets, and no alcohol and no smoking for I think it's a month before. All these things just help with the bruising and help with swelling. I think aftercare wise that was kind of it. For prior, then for post treatment, for post procedure, I was still taking the bromelain tablets. I was still taking the arnica tablets. I was icing my face because my whole face was swollen, and I actually did get bruising still, even though I followed the post aftercare, or the post care should I say. But my skin, I'm very sensitive, so yeah, and I was very swollen. My mum said that I looked like a little chipmunk. So everything was swollen. My lips, everything was swollen. So you leave the surgery with your cast on that the surgeon puts on, and that's all over the face. And then you go back a week later. So you stay in Turkey for a week, you go back a week later, and he takes the first cast off, puts you another cast on, and I think you keep that one on for either 1 or 2 weeks when you get home. So I flew with that one. And when I took that one off, I still loved it. I was just obsessed from the moment that he did it. It was very swollen, and I think you have to be prepared for that. You are going to look different because you've had surgery, you've had major surgery on your face. So I think it can take a mental toll on your mental health, because you have to get used to that your face looks different. But because I'd wanted the surgery for so long, I was just trusting the process, and yeah, it was swollen, but I was happy with it. So how much did it change from 2 months to 6 months? So much. So from the first few months, it was very swollen, and on one side, I think it was this side, and it still is a little bit, I had more swelling on this side. So it was pushing the nose to one side, and my surgeon was probably getting so annoyed with me. I kept messaging him saying, is this normal? Is this normal? You know, is this normal? But he reassured me, and you just have to trust the process. At the end of the day, you've had, like I say, major surgery on the bones, and there's going to be a lot of swelling for a long time. I think it's a whole year that it takes to fully heal. That's why I've been doing these little updates, because I'm still not fully healed, but I am really happy with how it's looking. But yeah, it completely changes from 2 to 6 months, 100%. How long did you tape the nose after the rhinoplasty for the night? So on the evening, I'm still taping because I've got quite thick skin. So my surgeon said, I think 2 months on the evening after the surgery, but I've just kept doing it because I've got thick skin, and I've noticed that throughout the day, if I don't keep taping it, it swells. So by the evening, it's a little bit more swollen, and that will happen for a year. Some days my nose looks smaller, some days it looks nicer, and some days it looks more swollen. So every night I just tape it without a doubt. So this was my first one. I've never had one before, and I won't need to have another one, hopefully, because it's just perfect. So yeah, this was my first one, but I know that the surgeon does do a lot of revisions. I get mine in Jan. I'm so scared. What's the full process, and how did you find the healing? Honestly, all I can say is trust your surgeon. He knows what he's doing, especially if you go to the same surgeon that I went to. He has so much experience. It's all he does. He just does noses every day of his life, and he is just the best. So you really, really have to listen to your surgeon, listen to the advice for before, listen to the aftercare, and just follow everything.